to actually create the possibility for entrepreneurs to the new agreement to actually produce food and grow food in our cities. So this is a big challenge. And another thing that is important, I think, that you emphasized was the collaboration on the metropolitan level, the cooperation between the city and its intra-rural areas. Okay, so now we move to our next speaker, Guido Montanari, Deputy Mayor of Turin. And I think I identify very much because he's an architect, and we will get a more, I think, emphasis on the urban planning and architecture, right? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much to everybody. Welcome to everybody. Can I? Okay, thanks. So, as you know, maybe Turin is a very old city, founded by Romans 2,000 years ago. But the relation between the territory and the city was every time very, very strong. Also in the 17th century, when the Torino became the capital of Savoy-Duchy, you can see that the old town is strictly linked to its territory. And this is demonstrated also now by the important monuments as Reggia and beautiful kingdom residence. Also in the 60s, this kind of relation between the city and mountain, hill and river is still working and is quite the same that you can see in the 17th century maps. Torino, as you know, was the city, the typical one-company town, the Fiat town. 150,000 workers were there, so the old city worked with the workers in factories. But starting from the 1982, the city was changed a lot with a new urban plan started in the 1995. This is the actual plan that we are changing in a new way that I can try to explain. The old plan 20 years ago was based on a city of 1,200,000 people. Now we are 900,000. So we are reduced, but the most of people are went to live all around the city. So the city of Torino is completely about 2 million inhabitants, with all the population around. But the transformation, very important, from industrial city to tourism, culture, and research city was to give importance to monuments, museums, as you can see, the Egyptian Museum, the Cinema Museum, and so on. And also to have a good transportation, public transportation with one subway, and we are projecting the second one, the second line. And also we try to transform the industrialized area. We had about 10 million meters square of industrialized area abandoned, and they were changed in a new area destined to residence, mall, commercial, and so on. But the real problem is to transform this part of Turin in something much more linked to the landscape, to agriculture, to food. This is our challenge now. So you can see the actual transformation that is always linked to an old vision, the vision of the skyscraper, new modern city, and so on. We are trying to go back to a city with a green area, permeable area, and so on. No soil, no food. No soil, no agriculture. We used about 65% of the complete surface of the city. So we have to stop it and try to use new ideas about the new urban plan. Environment as a resource, identity and beauty, culture, wellness, quality of life, involvement of the youth, job, production, commerce, make the rule easier, no bureaucracy, and try to overcome the limits of the city and try to think to the city with its territory. It's for that that we have in our guidelines the challenge is to preserve free land, green areas, and use the territory as a resource, not only to build something or to make a factory, but to make agriculture, to make places for people to have sports and to have area for relax and so on. But also we try to make this kind of new planification with the participation of people. So we had this kind of initiative as the Wednesday of the Urban Plan, in which in the square we discussed the plan, the new plan, with people, with normal citizens everywhere to encourage people to have their ideas, to discuss ideas with our administration and so on. So we try to do that with normal people, but also with stakeholders, with the properties, with the constructors and so on. And I think that also contractors can normally try to use land only to make money. They can understand now that they can't continue to build, because in actual crisis, building are not the solution. So maybe it's better to build less but better. So with the attention to energy, to save energy, to have permeabilized areas, not waterproof areas, not waterproof, permeable, thank you. So to save water, to front the climate changes. So this is our challenge. And of course it's also to use the 2 million square meters that actually we have to improve vegetables gardens, social gardens, and so on. That's something of an important resource that we have, and we want to improve. Not only for food consumption, but also for social reason, to have a city more just, more right, more equitable, more in which we can share resources. And I think this is the real challenge of our time. When this morning someone asked the mayor in one word, which is the solution for the city, I think that this word is justice. Thank you very much. Nine minutes.
Bravissimo. Mille grazie, signore Monteneri. Thank you for the Deputy Mayor of Torino. So I think justice is very important, but one thing that was said this morning by our mayor is about sharing resources. A city and a community can be resilient when it shares resources, and then it's also sustainable. So it's very important, and it was seen in some of your slides. Thank you very much. Now we move to a completely different story. We move to Japan, to Yokohama, because during crisis, food supply is a key challenge. Organizational skills and networking are crucial in order to maintain a constant and nutritious supply to the residents of the city. I invite Makoto Sekiyama, Director General of Global Network International Affairs Bureau of the City of Yokohama. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great pleasure to participate in this Tel Aviv City Summit for the first time. I appreciate this opportunity to introduce Yokohama City's policies on resilient cities and food security on a community level. As you may know, Japan is one of many countries that has experienced a large number of earthquakes. Major earthquakes in recent years have included the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in 2011, and the Kumamoto earthquakes in 2016. These earthquakes caused heavy casualties, and an extremely large number of people was forced to evacuate, even in cases where the damage to their homes was minimal. Many evacuees found it difficult to lead normal lives since their lifelines had been cut off. Once there is a large earthquake, serious damage becomes unavoidable. Based on Yokohama City's estimates, when a major earthquake happens, as many as 577,000 citizens will need to evacuate to shelters. In Yokohama, we approach disaster reduction from 3 angles. The first angle is public help, which is a traditional support from the government. The second angle is self-help, which means the individual's preparations and actions to protect themselves and their family. And the third and final angle is mutual help, which is defined as cooperation among citizens in the same neighborhood with respect to mutual safety and security.